really thought 3DCoat was going to step up and shake the industry when Maxon acquired ZBrush. I mean, we all knew Maxon would eventually do its thing, right? Things like slower development, subscription models, or deeper integration into Cinema 4D. ZBrush users in particular are worried. Since Maxon took over, updates have slowed down, and when ZBrush switched from perpetual license to a subscription model, more than half of the community went into an uproar, just like what happened to Body Paint 3D. Trust in ZBrush's future is fading as most of its freelance users, students, and other amateur users are looking into Blender. The most shocking part of this brouhaha is when amateur ZBrush users hopped on Madbox because they were too pissed off to read the latest update in the digital sculpting world, but instead of 3DCoat rising to the occasion when the world needed it most, it vanished. I am one of those people who still believe that despite all its quirks, 3DCoat is still a strong contender against ZBrush, but unfortunately it feels like a one-man show. You barely hear about it. Compare that to Plasticity, another solo-driven project which is making waves in its niche. Meanwhile, 3DCoat struggles to gain traction in the sculpting, UV mapping, and texturing world. And so, in this video, I put 3DCoat side by side with ZBrush to see how they really compare. And so, if for some reason you are skeptical about the power of 3DCoat, kindly stick around. This video might change your mind. Without wasting any more time, let's roll. Alright, before the fanboys come for me in the comment sections, listen up. Both 3DCoat and ZBrush are powerful tools, but let's talk about what makes them truly special. Some of these features you've probably heard of but never actually tried for yourself. Well, here's your wake-up call. First, 3DCoat UV mapping is still unmatched. If you've ever struggled with UV mapping, 3DCoat might just blow your mind. It combines planar unwrapping and angle-based flattening algorithms to minimize distortion and make the most out of your texturing space. The interface is intuitive, UV packing is automatic, and the precision controls absolutely top tier. Ask any artist who's giving 3DCoat UV tools a shot, and they will tell you the same thing. Once you use it, you never look back. Second, 3DCoat Retopology Workflow is on another level. Now, for the ZBrush fans out there who for some reason think Z-Remesher is the gold standard, hold on, let me tell you something. If you've never tried 3DCoat Retopology tool, you are missing out on a lot. 3DCoat offers both manual and automated retopology, allowing you to create clean, optimized meshes with ease. Let you snap new geometry directly to high poly surfaces while giving you full control over edge flow and polygon density. This is exactly why game artists and animators keep coming back to it. It just works. Bottom line, both ZBrush and 3DCoat have their strengths, but if you've never given 3DCoat a proper chance, this might be your chance. And if you think I'm kidding, take 10 3DCoat users and they would point out the reasons why they use 3DCoat is mostly due to the features I just mentioned. Now, talking of special features, what attracts you to ZBrush? Kindly leave your reasons in the comment sections below. For me personally, number one reason is going to be its brush. They are the backbone to ZBrush's sculpting power. Out of the box, ZBrush includes around 30 brushes, different brushes, each designed for specific tasks such as carving, smoothing, inflating, adding fine details, you can name it. Another question will be, so what makes these brushes so powerful? And the answer is as simple as customization. Artists love ZBrush because they can fine-tune brush settings like size, intensity, and fall off to get precise results. And it doesn't stop there. ZBrush's community and marketplace offers tons of free brushes and also paid brushes as well, making the two sets even more versatile. This level of flexibility makes ZBrush's brushes truly unmatched in digital sculpting. My number 2 special feature for ZBrush is going to be Dynamesh and Fiber Mesh, game changers. Dynamesh is a breakthrough tool that automatically redistributes polygon as you sculpt, keeping the mesh clean and uniform, so you don't have to worry about topology. This is a lifesaver for artists working on organic shapes and concept sculpting, where flexibility matters more than technical cleanup. Fiber Mesh, on the other hand, lets you create hair and fur directly in ZBrush, giving you even more control over fine details. Now, my third pick will be poly painting, but honestly, I don't feel the need to speak of it, and so what I'll do is rather speak on some of its well thought of recent updates you can look into. The quick poly group brush, that's number 1, and what it does is it simplifies the process of creating poly groups based on edge flow and enhancements to the anchor brush, including a new bend mode for more natural deformation. Another thing is also going to be the integration with Maxon's Redshift renderer, which has also seen improvements, offering real-time material and lighting updates within the viewport. 3DCoat continues to specialize in voxel sculpting and polygonal sculpture, offering a unique approach that sets it apart from ZBrush, while many ZBrush users remain loyal to their preferred software, often citing a till death do us apart mentality. The rise of voxel sculpting have proven to be a game changer for those prioritizing quality work and efficiency. Voxel sculpting, often described as the 3D analog of 2D pixels, operates without polygons. In this case, 3DCoat is building voxels as its atomic unit. Each voxel, a cube in 3D space, is governed by a density function phi of x, y, z. When sculpting, the software solves this under the hood, where C sub 1 are brush centers and W sub 1 their weight. This Gaussian splatting technique creates smooth organic forms, but voxel-based workflows demand computational heft, scaling cubically with resolution big O of n cubed, versus ZBrush's linear polygon scaling big O of n. Here lies their first divergence. ZBrush thrives on the Eulerian efficiency mesh adaptation, whilst 3DCoat embraces Lagrangian complexity volumetric fidelity. This allows artists to create shapes and objects without worrying about constant topological adjustment. If you are a concept artist or someone who needs rapid prototyping, this might be a tool worth exploring. When comparing 3DCoat voxel sculpting to ZBrush's polygonal approach, the difference in speed and feel are surprisingly minimal. Not so much. In fact, 3DCoat's preset brushes are fine-tuned to mimic ZBrush's standard brushes, making the transition between the two tools feel natural and familiar. But let's be real, voxel sculpting is not without its downside. One major challenge is that it requires uniform resolution across the mesh. This means higher memory usage and greater performance demand, especially for artists working on highly detailed models. And if you don't believe me, just take a quick look at the comment sections under any 3DCoat discussion. This is one of the biggest complaints. The software demands a powerful machine. If your system isn't up to the task, expect frequent crashes and performance issues. So while Voxel sculpting remains an incredibly powerful tool for concept art and reference modeling, it's not for everyone. It's for those who can afford the hardware to handle it. And so 3DCoat got smart about the software's frequent crashing and decided to come up with 4 options after you install the software, and I'll talk more into it in a bit. Hold on. ZBrush remains an industry-leading digital sculpting program known for its ability to create photorealistic production quality sculpts with advanced shading, lighting, and rendering. But let's talk about what sets it apart from 3DCoat or the competition. Unlike 3DCoat, ZBrush employs pixel technology, a unique system that stores depth, orientation, and material information in smart pixels. Each pixel contains both 2D and 3D data, allowing for highly detailed and dynamic sculpting experience. Now, one of ZBrush's standout features is the Gizmo 3D, which has been refined in its recent update with AI-assisted snapping and predictive transformations. This makes moving, rotation, and scaling models even more intuitive. And then there is the ZModeler brush, a powerhouse for low-res polygonal modeling. This year, it's received major enhancements, including procedural modeling capabilities and real-time Boolean operations, perfect for high-detail sculpting, organic modeling, and hard surface work. However, ZBrush isn't perfect. It still lacks native support for 3D connection devices and doesn't offer the same level of simultaneous sculpting and painting as 3DCoat. This is where 3DCoat truly shines. Unlike ZBrush, 3DCoat fully supports 3D connection devices, offering a tactile and immersive sculpting experience. This integration has been further optimized for V-Ray workflow with recent updates, allowing artists to sculpt and paint in a fully immersive 3D space. But that's not all. One of 3DCoat's biggest advantage is its ability to sculpt and paint simultaneously, even on dense, high-poly meshes. This has now been enhanced with AI-driven texture synthesis, letting artists generate complex materials in real time. Its 4-channel workflow, which includes color, depth, gloss, and metal, now supports PBR 2.0 workflow, providing even more realistic material rendering. And let's not forget layers. 3DCoat's layer functionality has been improved with non-destructive editing and AI-based layer blending, making it more easier than ever to experiment with different sculpting and texturing ideas. At the end of the day, choosing between ZBrush and 3DCoat comes down to your specific needs. If you need high detailed sculpting and production quality outputs, although 3DCoat is there, I would go for ZBrush. And if you want to focus on texturing, UV mapping, and concept art, 3DCoat is the better guy. Either way, you would still be giving up something in the process, but one thing is clear: both tools remain essential in the world of digital art. One of the biggest questions you would come across on most digital sculpting platforms is, can 3DCoat handle as many polygons as ZBrush? There is a common misconception that 3DCoat just can't keep up, but that's not entirely true. The real answer: it depends on your hardware. ZBrush is famous for handling millions of high-resolution polygons with incredible efficiency. Its optimized algorithms and lightweight mesh-based workflow makes sculpting smooth, even at extreme detailed levels. And with its latest update, ZBrush now uses AI-driven polygon optimization, automatically reducing unnecessary geometry while preserving details. That means artists can push even higher polygon counts, even on mid-range hardwares. But let's be real, hardware still matters. And so what are we looking at here? A system with mid-range CPU and a 16 gigabytes of RAM? Sure, it can handle tens of millions of polygons, but if you push past 100 million, you are going to feel it, especially without a high performance GPU to back it. Now, 3DCoat works differently. It's built around voxel-based sculpting, which is incredibly powerful but also way more demanding on RAM. Unlike polygons, voxel stores volumetric data instead of just surface details. And here's the catch. As resolutions increases, memory usage scales exponentially. For example, sculpting at 8K voxel resolution doesn't just use 8 times more memory than 1K. It uses 512 times more. So while 3DCoat can absolutely match ZBrush in raw details, it needs a lot more memory to do it. Its sculpting latency manifests as brush strokes lag, while voxel grade updates, governed by the Poisson equation Laplacian of phi, which solves iteratively slower than ZBrush's direct manipulation. However, a 3DCoat user with a powerful CPU, at least 32 gigs of RAM and a high-end GPU, can easily handle over 30 million polygons or voxels without breaking a sweat. But here is the key: optimization. 3DCoat offers 2 sculpting modes to manage performance. 1. Geometry only mode. This mode focuses on traditional polygon workflows, reducing RAM consumption. 2. Voxel only mode. This is perfect for volumetric sculpting but demands more system resources. And here's the cool part: 3DCoat lets users cache layers they are not actively working on, dramatically lowering RAM usage and improving stability. Now, with recent updates, 3DCoat has introduced AI-based voxel compression, a game changer. This technology intelligently reduces memory usage without sacrificing detail, making voxel sculpting even more accessible for users with high-end systems. And so, while ZBrush is generally more efficient when handling millions of polygons on mid-range hardware, 3DCoat can match or even exceed its capabilities if you have the right machine. The key difference: polygon versus voxels. If you are working with voxels, you need power. A stable high-performance system is essential to handle the increased RAM demands. So the real question is, what kind of workflow are you aiming for? One of the biggest advantages of 3DCoat in recent times is its seamless export and import workflow. Artists can export a complete voxel hierarchy and open it directly in ZBrush for further modification. This is incredibly useful for those who want to take advantage of ZBrush's advanced sculpting tools for fine detailing and finishing touches. But it doesn't stop there. 3DCoat now natively supports importing projects from other softwares. Previously, workflows required a plugin called Appliques, but today 3DCoat supports direct import and export in OBJ, FBX, STL, and USD format. This removes the need for third-party plugins, making it easier than ever to integrate with Blender, Maya, and ZBrush. Yes, and even ZBrush in professional pipelines. What about ZBrush, one might ask? Historically, ZBrush has been known for its closed ecosystem, but recent updates have made interoperability much better. This is not new. ZBrush users can export models in various formats like OBJ, FBX, and USD, but there is a catch. Some proprietary data is lost during export, such as pixel information and subdivision levels. If you are bringing models into ZBrush, you often need to retopologize or remesh them before sculpting. However, ZBrush has improved its live linking capabilities with other DCC tools, making workflow integration much smoother than before. Another area where 3DCoat stands out is performance optimization. It now offers multiple launch modes, allowing users to tailor their experience to their hardware configuration. We have the DX mode, optimized for DirectX based gaming GPUs like NVIDIA GeForce and AMD Radeon. There is also the GL mode, which is ideal for professional GPUs like NVIDIA Quadro or AMD Radeon Pro, leveraging OpenGL workflows. There is also the CUDA mode, which is exclusive to NVIDIA GPUs using CUDA acceleration for boosted performance. And then there is the simple mode, a fallback option for older or incompatible systems, ensuring broad hardware support. Additionally, 3DCoat now features an automatic hardware detection system, which recommends the best launch modes based on your GPU and drivers. This dramatically reduces crash, eliminates display glitches or issues, and ensures smooth performance without manual troubleshooting. Now, all that I took time to break down had to do with the technical differences that exist between both softwares, but these differences aren't the overall deciding factors that one should look at when choosing a digital sculpting software. There is another truth, and that truth had to do with, first of all, looking at yourself, what you want to do, how far you want to take it, and then now you can look into what software can take you that far. When choosing between ZBrush and 3DCoat, forget about hardware. That can always be upgraded. Instead, focus on your career aspiration. If your dream is to attend an FX school, work in a major VFX studio, and contribute to high-end productions, then ZBrush is a must, no matter how powerful 3DCoat becomes. The reality is that big studios have decades worth of projects built in ZBrush. They aren't switching anytime soon. That doesn't mean 3DCoat isn't capable. It absolutely is. But in the VFX industry, standardization matters. You should also stay flexible. Many studios use proprietary tools that aren't publicly available, and so be ready to adapt, learn quickly, and master whatever software is required. However, if your focus is on texturing, retopology, UV mapping, quick prototyping, and fast project turnarounds, then 3DCoat is the way to go. It's especially great for freelancers, indie creators, and generalist artists because of its perpetual license model. Once you own it, you own it. That freedom alone makes it a powerful asset in the right hand. Ultimately, your software choice should align with your goals. Be open to learning both, because in this industry, versatility is key, right? Okay, if you love this video, then thumbs up, share, subscribe. Until my next video, peace.